What is the appearance of this strong man who was welcomed by Dan Biao? But see, he has a majestic body and a stature of over 7 feet. He has a broad and angular face, and is in his mid-20s. The eyes are bright, looking like two stars from a distance. Holding them in both hands, looking up close, they look like a pair of iron bars. When the toes fly up, the tigers and leopards in the mountains lose their souls. When the boxers fall, the bears in the poor valleys are devastated. Wearing a 10,000-word turban with 2 silver flowers on the hairpin. Wearing a bloody robe with a square of red brocade. This person is none other than Wu Erlang from Yangwu County as mentioned by Count Ying. Just because he came to look for his brother, he accidentally killed the tiger and was welcomed by the county magistrate. Everyone watched him welcome into the county, but it was said that at this time, the magistrate was going to the court. Wu Song dismounted and went in, carrying the big insect in front of the hall. The county magistrate saw Wu Song's appearance and thought to himself, "How can I beat this tiger if I don't dare to fight?" Then he called Wu Song to the hall. After seeing this, tell the story from beginning to end of the tiger hunt. Officials on both sides were stunned. The magistrate gave Wu Song 3 glasses of wine in the hall and 50 taels of reward. From the cashiers of the local households in the treasury, Wu Song reported, "The villain relied on the blessing of my husband and accidentally killed this big insect. It is not a villain's ability. How dare I accept these rewards? The hunters have been punished by my husband a lot because of this beast. So why not just give them the reward, scattered among everyone? It also shows kindness and kindness." The county magistrate said, "In this case, let the strong men punish you." Wu Song scattered the 50 taels of reward money among the other hunters in the hall. The county magistrate saw that he was kind and honest and a good man, and he wanted to promote him. So he said, "Although you are from Yangwu County, you are only close to me in King County. I will join you as a patrolman in our county today. I am the head of the capital, specializing in capturing thieves in the east and west of the river. What do you think?" Wu Song knelt down and thanked him. "If you are praised by me, this villain will be blessed for life." The county magistrate immediately called the police department to write a document, and that day he joined Wu Song as the patrol chief. All the elders in the village came to congratulate Wu Song and drank wine for several days. "I was about to go back to Yangwu County to look for my brother, but unexpectedly I became the captain again in King County, but I was also happy. At that time, word spread to Dongping Prefecture and to counties, and everyone knew Wu Song's name exactly. The heroic hero has a little talent and stands up straight to Jing Yang. He came drunk and killed a tiger in the mountains, and his reputation spread all over the world. But it was said that Wu Song was walking on the street one day when he heard a man behind him shouting, "Brother, the county magistrate has promoted you to be the head of the patrol. Why don't you look after me?" Wu Song turned around and saw this man. Unconsciously, Shin comes out from the corner of the forehead and eyebrows, and the smile opens with joy. This person is none other than Wu Song, who goes to find his biological brother Wu Da every day. However, it is said that since the brothers separated, Wu Da moved to rent a house on Zishi Street in King County due to famine. People saw that he was cowardly and wretched, so they gave him the nickname Song Kundingu Bark. As the saying goes, he had a rough body and a narrow head and face. Just because he is so weak and simple, he is bullied a lot. This is no problem. It is said that Wuhan University had little business, so he carried burdens all day long and went out to sell cooking cakes on the street to make a living. Unfortunately, his wife died and he left behind a 12-year-old girl named Yinger. The two of them lived together. After half a year's work, he also lost his capital and moved to live in a house facing the street of a large family in a large neighborhood. The servants of Zhang Zhai's family saw his duty and often looked after him, taking care of him and still selling some cooking cakes. "When I sit on the floor in my shop during my free time, Wu Da will be flattered by everyone." Therefore, everyone in Zhang Zhai's family was happy and tried their best to persuade him in front of the wealthy family. Therefore, large households did not even ask Wuhan University for rent. But it is said that this wealthy family has tens of thousands of wealth and hundreds of houses. He is about 60 years old and has no men or women around him. "My mother, Mrs. Yu, is a strict master. And there are no pretty maids in the house. It's just because the wealthy family often pats their chests and sighs, "I'm very old and have no children. Although I have a lot of wealth, it will not be of much use," mother said. "In that case, I will ask the matchmaker to buy 2 maids for you. They will learn to play and sing in the morning and evening, and they will serve you." Who was overjoyed when he heard this and thanked his mother. After a while, my mother called the matchmaker and bought 2 maids from a wealthy family, one named Pan Jinlian and the other by Yulian. Yulian was 28 years old and was born in Lihu family. She was born fair and small. This Pan Jinlian is the daughter of Pan Tai, the 6th sister outside the south gate. Because he had some good looks since he was a child and had a pair of nice little feet, he was named Jinlian. His father died, and his mother could not make ends meet, so she was sold to Wang Zhaoxuan's house from the age of 9, where she learned to play and sing, and often taught him to read and write in her spare time. He is very clever by nature, but when he is only 12 or 13, he can draw eyebrows, apply powder and ink, taste bamboo and stretch silk, work as a needleworker, know how to read and write, wear a bun, a button-down shirt, and make a picture, do the same thing, look alike. When he was 15 years old, Wang Zhaoxuan died, and Pan's mother fought for him to come out. She sold 30 taels of silver to Zhang Die's family and entered the house at the same time as Yulian. The big family taught him how to play and sing, but Jin Lian could learn it by himself, which was very labor-saving. Jin Lian learns the pipa and Yulian learns the zither. The 2 sleep in the same room. The mother-in-law, Mrs. Yu, initially praised the 2 of them and decorated their bodies with gold and silver jewelry. Unexpectedly, Bai Yulian died the next day, leaving Jin Lian alone. She grew to 18 years old, with a beautiful face lined with peach blossoms and a crescent-shaped eyebrow. Every time Zhang Da wanted to take him in, he would not be able to get it because of the powerful mother-in-law. One day, the owner's mother-in-law and her neighbor were away at the banquet. The wealthy family secretly called Jin Lian to the room and took it away. "Exactly. Don't be surprised that we met late on the rooftop. Liu Lang is still the same old Liu Lang. Ever since the wealthy man started using Golden Lotus, he had developed 4 or 5 illnesses. What's the secret of 5 pieces? The first time there is pain in the waist. The second time there is tears in the eyes. The third time there is deafness in the ears. The fourth time there is mucus in the nose. And the 5th time there is dripping in the urine." After she got these illnesses, the mother-in-law of the house knew about them and yelled at the wealthy family for several days, beating Jin Lian in every possible way. The wealthy family knew that they would not tolerate it, but they lost their dowry in anger and tried to find a suitable family to marry into. People in the wealthy families said that Wu Da was loyal, had no wife and children, and lived in a house, so he was worthy of his friendship. Sooner or later, this wealthy family will look down on this girl, so they don't want a penny from Wu Da to marry her for free. Since Wu Da married Jin Lian, the wealthy family has taken great care of him. If Wu Da doesn't have the capital to make cakes, the wealthy family will give him some money privately. When Wu Darua went out to carry his burden, he saw no one was waiting for him at the big house, so he went into the room to meet Jin Lian. Although Wu Da suddenly bumped into him, it turned out to be his licensed product and he didn't dare to say anything. There is also a lot of time coming and going at night. Suddenly one day, a wealthy man fell ill with cold and yen, and died. When the master's mother-in-law found out what had happened, she angrily ordered her children to drive Jin Lian and Wu Da out immediately. Therefore, Wuhan University found the house of the royal family on the west side of Zixi Street, rented 2 rooms inside and outside, and still sold cooking cakes. It turned out that this Jin Lian was married to Wuhan University. When she saw that he was blindly honest and had a wretched character, she was very disgusted with him and often got along with him. The big complainer, "There are so many men in the world. Why did you marry me to such a guy? What keeps you holding me back every day?" Holding you back is just drinking mouth and bed. But even a cone of palladium won't move at the tight spot. Nu Duan was so regretful in his quiet life, yet he married him. It's so hard. He was often alone, singing Sheep on the Hill as evidence. I remember back then, When you were mismatched in marriage, I looked down upon you as a man. If you don't praise yourself, how can a crow match a Luan and a phoenix? Nugent's gold is buried in the soil. He is a tall piece of copper. How can he compare with my gold? He is a stubborn stone. How lucky he is to hold my mutton-fat jade body. It's like Ganoderma growing on the dung soil. However, if you let him do whatever you want, it will be a slave to you. Hearing, a slave is a gold brick. How can it be compared to a foundation of clay? The judge heard that if a woman in the world has some color and intelligence, she just needs to be paired with a good man. If she is like this in Wuhan University, even if she is easy to kill, she will still be a bit disgusted. Since ancient times, there have been few good matches for beauties and talented people, and those who buy gold cannot match those who sell gold. Wu Da went out to sell cooking cakes on his own shoulders every day and returned home late in the evening. The women sent Wu Da out every day, only to crack melon seeds under the curtain, exposing the pair of small golden lotus flowers to seduce the wandering disciples. Day after day, she played Hubo's poems, told riddles, and sang in front of the door. How does a good piece of mutton end up in a dog's mouth? The oily words came out of his mouth in every possible way. Therefore, Wuhan University couldn't live safely in Zixi Street, so he wanted to move elsewhere and discussed with his wife. The woman said, "Thief wanton is ignorant. You rent someone else's house. It's a shallow house, but you know there is a villain Luo Gong. Why don't you add a few taels of silver and see what happens accordingly? And he will live in 2 rooms, but he will be more dignified, to avoid being bullied by others." Wu Dao Dao, where do I have money to buy a house? The woman said, "Ba, you are a man. You are a man. You can't be manipulated, and you often make my mother angry. If you don't have money, you can get my hairpin comb. And if you have what a problem, it's never too late to treat it later." After Wu Da heard what his wife said, he immediately scraped together a dozen taels of silver to buy a house with 4 floors above and below the front building of the county gate. The second floor is the building, 2 small courtyards, very clean. Since Wuhan University moved to County West Street, he has been selling cooking cakes to make a living. He doesn't want to run into his biological brother today. The brothers met each other that day and were very happy. On the one hand, he was invited to his home and asked to sit upstairs. Jin Liam was summoned from the room to meet Wu Song because he said, "The one who killed the big insect on Jingyang Hill the day before yesterday was your brother-in-law. Now he has been appointed as the capital. And he is my brother from the same mother." The woman crossed her arms and said, "Hail, uncle." Wu Song saluted and bowed down. The woman supported Wu Song and said, "Uncle, please get up and kill the slave family." Wu Song said, "Sister-in-law is receiving the gift." The two gave way to each other, then kowtowed. After a while, the little girl Yinger brought tea, and the 2 of them ate. When Wu Song saw that the woman was very charming, he just lowered his head. Not long after, Wu Da organized a banquet and meal to entertain Wu Song. While they were talking, Wu Da went downstairs to buy wine and food, leaving the woman behind and sitting alone with Wu Song upstairs after seeing Wu Song's majestic figure and majestic appearance. I also thought that he had killed the big insect. After all, he had thousands of kilograms of strength. Without saying anything, he thought in his mind, how could a brother born from the same mother give birth to my Dingshu, who is less than a foot tall? He is 3 parts human and 7 parts ghost. The plague hit him in this life. Now it looks like Wu Song is such a strong man. Why not ask him to move to my house? I think this marriage is here. So he laughed and asked, "Uncle, where do you live now? Who will prepare the daily meals?" Wu Song said, "Wu Erkson has taken charge of the capital and promised his boss every day that it is inconvenient to live elsewhere, so he wanders around the county. I found a place to hide in front of me and sent to local soldiers to wait and cook every day." The woman said, "Uncle, why don't you move in with your family? The provincial soldiers in front of the county serve as cooks and salters. Living with the family is more convenient when you need some soup in the morning and evening. Even if the slave family personally arranges to eat with uncle, it will be clean." Wu Song said, "Thank you very much, sister-in-law." The woman said again, "Is there an ant somewhere else?" I can invite her to have a chat with her, Wu Song said. Wu is not married. The woman asked, how young is uncle? Wu Song said, 28 years are wasted. The woman said, it turns out that my uncle has been a slave for 3 years. Where did he come from now? Wu Song said, I have lived in Kangzhou for more than a year. I just want my brother to live in the old house. So why not move here? The woman said, it's hard to explain. Ever since I married your brother, he has been so kind and bullied, so I came here. If my uncle is so strong, who dares to say no? Wu Song said, my brother has always done his duty. It's not like Wu Song's behavior. The woman laughed and said, how can you say this upside down? As the saying goes, if a person is not strong, he will not be able to settle down for a long time. The slave family is naturally quick-tempered and looks down on those who can't turn around after 3 dozen blows or turn around after 4 dozen blows. Wu Song said, my brother doesn't get into trouble, so that my sister-in-law won't worry. The two of them were talking to each other upstairs. There is poetry to prove it. I met my uncle and sister-in-law by chance, and they were very charming and showed off their good looks. Selfishly, he wanted to have a happy party and secretly used evil words to catch Wu Song. It was said that Jin Lian and Wu Song were upstairs talking, and they saw Wu Da buying some meat, vegetable and fruit cakes and returning home. Put it in the kitchen, walked upstairs, and called, sister-in-law, come down and take me. The woman responded, look at that ignorant person. My uncle has no one to accompany him here, but he left me alone. Wu Song said, sister-in-law, please facilitate me. The woman said, why don't you go to the next door and ask Wang Ganyang to make arrangements? It's just so inconvenient. Wu Da then went to the palace and asked Wang Po to come. The arrangements were neat, and they were brought upstairs and placed on the table. They were nothing more than some fish, meat, fruits, vegetables, and snacks. Then the hot wine was served. Wu Da asked the woman to take the main seat. Wu Song sat across from her, and Wu Da fought against her. The 3 of them sat down and poured the wine. Wu Da sifted the wine in front of everyone. The woman picked up the wine and said, uncle, don't blame me. I don't care much. Please give me a glass of water and wine. Wu Song said, thank you, sister-in-law. Don't say that. Wu Da just sifted the wine up and down. The woman smiled brightly and shouted, uncle, why don't you pick a chopstick for the meat and fruit? She handed over the picked ones. Wu Song is a straightforward man who only treats her as his sister-in-law. Unexpectedly, this woman was a maid and was used to being petty. I don't want this woman to be so attractive. The woman had a few glasses of wine with Wu Song. Looking only at Wu Song couldn't bear to see him, so he had to lower his head. After eating for a while, he got up after drinking too much wine. Wu Dao, second brother is fine. Let's have a few more drinks. Wu Song said, Shangshu, I will come to visit my brother and sister-in-law again. Send them all downstairs. Outside the door, the woman said, uncle is determined to move in with us. If he doesn't move in, we and I will be laughed at by others. It is difficult for brothers to compare with others. It is also good to compete with us. Wu Song said, since my sister-in-law is so kind, I will pick it up if I have any luggage tonight. The woman said, I'm waiting here. It's exactly. There is no one aware of the wilderness in front of me, and the green peach blossoms will bloom at some o'clock.